My job as the Senior Director of Strategic Partnerships is to evaluate our market share and tastefully leverage it. And what that means is the tribe is fiercely loyal, and we want to turn vendors into partners. And so I evaluate the opportunities in the marketplace that we can make that happen. Both driving revenue and controlling some expense elements to it. But the real goal is that we create long-standing, tangible partners rather than vendors, and we want to do business with people that do business with us. What does NIL mean? It stands for name, image, and likeness in college athletics for student athletes to be able to monetize their own name, image, and likeness. It changes the game for them. It allows them to monetize who they are. And it's beyond the name on the back of the jersey. Historically, universities have sold a jersey a year. Sometimes it's the year on the jersey. In 2016, it would be the number 16. But now they can actually put the player's name on them, and the players will monetize that market share as well as their own brand equity that they create via social media platforms and appearance fees and things like that. So it truly gives them an opportunity to monetize who they are in the marketplace beyond just playing on the field. Drew Timme, as an example, I think the first steps was having the communication amongst our own leadership team and articulating the value proposition that I thought it could warrant in our market. The next was going to meeting with Gonzaga Leadership. We were the first, not only tribal property, but the first casino in the country to pull it off. And so with that, there could be a variety of nuances. So there was a couple meetings with compliance, senior leadership at Gonzaga, helping them understand what we were trying to accomplish with the partnership. And then from that point, when all things were green light, I reach out to the agency that represents Drew, articulate what I'm trying to accomplish, and then the standard, negotiate, wait process takes place. And through that process, we were meeting with our own ad agency, who did a tremendous job being very creative with Drew's personality and our own local celebrities who we've utilized for the last decade in our spots. And so when push came to shove, we literally, I think, recorded the spots 7 to 8 days prior to the Texas game, which was our target date for launch, because Texas being a top 10 team in the country and Gonzaga being number 1, that was our goal for launch, and so kudos to all those guys who were able to pull it off. But that, I guess, was how it started and kind of culminated. So NIL deals became possible in 2021. And how did we execute our Drew Timme deal so fast? I would say it probably wasn't as fast as optics warrants. It was many years in the making, to be quite honest. The buzz of NIL had started for a long time, and it finally came to a lot of pressure points, I think, through COVID and all of those things. And so the concept had always been there, but our relationship with evolution, our evolving relationship with Gonzaga over time, and who Drew is in the marketplace, creating his own brand equity with his mustache thing, and Gonzaga is the number 1 team in the country in our local market. So there was a lot of build up to it, and then when we saw the opportunity to capitalize on it, we were quick to do it. I mean, there's a little bit of playing defense by playing offense. I wanted to be the first people to the market because of the traditional earned media that comes with being the first to anything. And nowadays it's really, really hard to be the first at anything. And we were. And that was part of the goal. And I thought it would resonate well amongst tribal communities, on our local community, and it went much broader than that, which I'm grateful for and excited about. And there was a little bit of, if we could set the market price, if we could be the first, we would set our local regional market pricing for the opportunities. That would allow it to be much more sustainable over a period of time, in my opinion. Early feedback on the Drew Timme campaign, what initially happened, I thought would happen, and that was I knew it would resonate amongst the tribal community and the casino world, and it was picked up on Twitter by a number of different tribal entities, and it was retweeted by some of those news agencies, and then locally in our marketplace, the standard players in the market picked it up and talked about it, which is what I thought would happen. And as of late, as Gonzaga made their run in the Sweet 16 and Drew Timme he's a likable guy and creates his own kind of brand presence. As that stuff started to bubble, and the uniqueness of us being the only casino in the country to do this, we had one day where it was picked up by 262 newspapers and over 220 million impressions that day. Our partnership with Drew was really highlighted. So, beyond just when I'm in every restaurant possible and people know that I was part of it, they asked, how funny the Drew Timme commercials are and stuff. What's my favorite one? So I recommend them evaluating what they're trying to accomplish and how can they monetize it. Because at the end of the day, it's fun to do stuff that's creative and unique, but how you truly monetize it is a good evaluation criteria. And for us, creating a unique experience for our players club at certain tier levels was a big driver for me. I knew my budget, and I had my budget in mind based off of what our reinvestment costs were into our players. So if I was able to negotiate appearances that we could cultivate 50 high-end players with and create a unique experience for them, I knew that had a revenue impact for our business, and so I evaluated it from that criteria. And I think, diversification of their marketplace, of who the user is of their properties, are important. I think college athletics are a pretty unique thing where they, in one-stop shop, you have 13 female sports and 10 male sports and 100 or 400 student athletes that you could potentially have relationships with. So, all right, so what kind of NIL partnerships and or strategic partnerships can you expect from Northern Quest over the coming years? I would say it's two buckets. We're going to, and we are constantly evaluating who potentially could be that next fit for us. We don't know, maybe Drew Timme comes back next year and there's opportunity to build on our local sitcom of spots that we have with him. I think would be unique and present a cool opportunity. Additionally, we're a very diverse tribe in many ways, and so I think there's plenty of compelling opportunities engaging with female athletes that are on the horizon that we'll look to evaluate. And then as far as partnerships as a whole, the tribe and our leadership team prides itself on innovation. And a couple of years ago, last year was the first year it debuted, but in BECU Live, which is our concert venue, we are the first concert venue in America to have the Coors Light cold rail technology for some of our VIP consumers. And I think that we'll look to deploy that type of consumer experience in as many places we can. I think it really continues to set you apart from other opportunities in the marketplace. How can Native American casinos benefit from NILs? I think there's 37 that already have a head start. In 2018, when we were evaluating our opportunity with Gonzaga for the floor logos, there were already 37 tribe casinos that were partners in college athletics. I think any of those ones stand the opportunity and the chance to activate that partnership on a more granular level. The uniqueness between our deal and some of the other ones that you might see a college athlete have Bose headphones on or things like that in a commercial but not be wearing the university's logos and uniforms is because of our relationship with the school, which is the same thing that those 37 other tribes have at their disposal. The partnerships with NIL, with the student athletes, allow them to activate it on a more granular level and engage their brand and create some different tangible ROI opportunities within the framework of their players club and their constituent base as a whole. Where do I see NIL and strategic partnerships going over the next 8 years? I think a big variable to all of that is going to be the future legislation around NIL as a whole. There's a big push right now by some high-profile people in college athletics to kind of put their arms around this because it had been bubbling, and then it came to fruition really fast, and now it's kind of the wild, wild west. And so I think that the demand and the nuance of something so crazy and new is volcanic in its acquisition, and I think you're going to see it decline because costs might be prohibitive of cost of entry, and then I think you'll see it flatline and it become much more of a traditional integration with celebrity endorsements and things like that. So I think the future is going to be rocky and volcanic for a while, and then it will level itself out into a more traditional consumption. If a casino wants to get started in this space, what do I recommend to them? I would say that you evaluate what you're trying to accomplish. There are plenty of different opportunities with NLI student athletes, college athletics, having the diversification of their student athletes with 13 women's teams and 10 men's teams or something thereabouts allows a broad, diverse group of people that you can engage with. So what's important to your tribe? What are you trying to accomplish? How can you evaluate the ROI elements of the re-engagement with your players and creating unique experiences for them? So that's how I would get started and how I would evaluate the opportunities. How did I get started professionally? I spent 12 years previously to Northern Quest in corporate athletics marketing. So I worked for a minor league baseball team, and then I worked for a college athletics program via IMG College. And Northern Quest happened to be my partner for 10 years while I was down there. And then in 2018, I transferred over and started doing partnerships for them. What's the ideal profile of a partnership NIL professional to create this for the casinos or tribal properties? I think it's somebody that's willing to be innovative and look at unique opportunities that are beyond traditional media, beyond maybe what's happening in Vegas already or things where they're pulling their industry best standards from. I think if there is opportunities to utilize somebody with a sports background, sports in college athletics demanded an evolution beyond the traditional billboards and radio spots. So I think somebody coming from that background is going to have an inherent reduced learning curve because of being in the industry and having to evolve and provide unique opportunities for clients. If I was to create a slogan that would be on a billboard at the NIGA convention, I've used the word experience a couple of different times, and that's what we really try to captivate here. And so if I'm talking to convention goers, I say life's an experience. Are you creating it? And the meaning is, are you creating it for all your consumers that are coming to your property?
Thanks again for letting me stroke your mustache, Drew.
Actually, you sort of caressed it.
Regardless, it did bring me good luck, and it more than paid for my delicious meal here at Epic, so you see how it all works out.
I guess.
Now, I can finally retire my old good luck charm.
What is it?
A rabbit's foot.
You serious?
What's the concern?
The rest of the rabbit?